Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, episode 81 at Face Value. I'm Brian.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Will.
Super pumped to have you get back again for another week. Just wrapped up the two championship games for the NFL. Super Bowl is set, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Not a whole lot going on in the college football world. Some portal news. We'll get into that a little bit. Um, NBA, they're playing. Haven't really
They are.
paid
That's a
much attention to
it's a
that.
it's a great
Yeah.
analysis of the NBA right now. It's exactly what it feels like.
So we'll get rolling with a few things, and then whatever else just comes to mind as we go, like we always do. So let's get rolling to our hugs and hikes. Lucas, you want to get started?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give my hug to Premier League football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, getting us through this time right now. Right before the podcast started, with college football kind of being over now, NFL kind of winding down. Obviously, we have baseball starting up soon, but we're kind of in a dead period, and the only thing left other than basketball, I guess they're still playing, as you said, but. Um, it's Premier League soccer to watch, for me at least. I know Will trying to get him on the train, but um, yesterday full morning full of it. This morning full morning full of games. So yeah, it's going to be riding out this cold winter until baseball starts with a lot of soccer. So even though Arsenal did not win today, but
I
definitely
feel like
sad
we
about that.
I feel like we'd be more likely to get Will to watch hockey than we would soccer. So
Nope, he's absolutely watching it this summer. So with the World Cup coming, he's watching.
yeah,
Dialed in, boys. I would be dialed
dialed
in,
in.
saving up
Yeah,
all my energy for it.
You better, dude.
you're gonna be coming off that World Baseball Classic high, and you're just like, man, I just can't. I'm just pumped for some soccer now. So
That's
Exactly,
right.
exactly. Br Branching out. It's a new year. What do they say? New year, new me. So
that's right. Get you on the
Hell
soccer
yeah.
train, dude. What about you, Will? You got a hug?
yeah, I'm gonna give a hug to Leonard Taylor. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say neither one of you boys are probably gonna know who that is. So
No.
actually, the whole world didn't know who he is, and most of them probably still don't. But he is the man that got the fingertip on the Will Lutz kick in the Patriots Broncos game that essentially got the Patriots to the Super Bowl. So hug to him because he's a practice squad guy. Just got brought up this week for the game, and it didn't even realize live. You didn't even notice it was tipped, but literally got a fingertip on the ball, changed the trajectory of that field goal, and ended up being the difference from that game staying 10-7 or probably going to overtime. So big hug to him. Um, Also, Will Lutz said after the game, it looks like they because the snow was so bad on the yardage you couldn't even see. So most field goal kickers line up 8 yards back. They only lined up seven. So his trajectory was lower because they were a yard closer, which
Hmm.
probably means that I'm not giving a hug to Leonard Taylor if they line up right because he probably doesn't get the fingertip on the football.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, crazy situation. It was at the end of the game, like even the announce like Romo and they didn't even know where the football was being spotted because there was just one blanket white on the field. So I could see where they probably had a hard time lining up punts, kicks. They didn't even know how long the field goal really was because they couldn't get an official measure until like 4 plays later when they had to figure it out. So,
Golly.
but anyway, the hug is to Leonard Taylor,
I thought
just off the practice squad and get a block to help send your team to the championship.
thought maybe the Broncos had hired a Texas A&M's special teams coach or something for a week.
Yeah, normally I would say so. Lutz not very good in the playoffs historically. I think he's only like 68% on field goals in the
Mm.
playoffs.
Golly.
So kind of been an Achilles heel his way for a while. 15 to 22 in the postseason. So
Jeez.
Former
It's
Saints
rough.
kicker.
yep, sure was. Sure
That's where
was.
the name rings a bell because I was like, man, I know Lutz. I couldn't think of where he played
Hmm.
before, but yeah, he was with the
Dude,
Saints for
he's
a
he
while.
was nails
Yeah,
there
he
too.
was.
He's nails
He
in
was.
the regular season, but postseason's kind of been a little bit tough for him. But
Got the
Hmm.
yips.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give my hug to Alex Honnold, who climbed the 1900 story Taipei 101 yesterday. I don't know if y'all watched it, but
I
man, like
did.
that stuff was insane. Just watching the dude, no nets, no wires, no cables, no parachute, like just going straight up. I mean, having to go at like inverted angles at some points. Like, I mean, I was sweating just watching. And so it's just super cool just to see. Like, even when he's standing on the top of the tower, like he took a whole selfie over the city and that wind, the way it was blowing, I'm like, God, dude, please sit down. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just absolutely crazy. But I saw too that they asked him, they're like, how much money did you get paid to do that? And he was like, it's an embarrassing amount of money. I would have done it for free. And they were like 10, and he was like, million. They're like, yeah. And he's like, no. He's like, if you go by that standard, it's an embarrassingly low amount of money. So allegedly, it's not confirmed, but allegedly he got paid about $500,000 to do it. So, which is crazy, but I mean,
I mean, if you saw the Free Solo documentary, like that some of those transitions or whatever they call it in bouldering or whatever were even more wild than this. Have you seen it? Have you seen that
no, I
documentary?
haven't seen it.
Oh, bro, it's honestly ridiculous. The other one is, and so whenever I saw him doing this, and I was like, this is going to be a piece of cake for him because on those rocks on the side, it's literally like a wall that is just straight up. It is crazy, and he's like,
Yeah.
and he said he'd done it with like rappels before. He's like, yeah, I fell like 3 times the last time I did it, but today I'm going with nothing. I'm like, this guy is just out of his mind.
Yes,
Um,
dude.
and so I wasn't super worried about the building one, but whenever that wind started blowing, I was like, oh God, man. Like just the way how the confidence he has just looking over the edge too and like waving at people below. I'm like, dude, you're
Yes.
psycho.
Yeah, it's like, please back up, dude. Well,
Yeah,
because they were talking about the difference between the rocks and the building too. Is they said like with rocks, like there's like a natural grip built in, whereas with the building, like it's just that smooth surface, so it makes a difference. So you have to get like more of a grip on it to go up.
true. But buildings don't break off in accidents.
That's also true.
Because the elements from those rocks, man, like he's literally
Uh,
wedging his fingertips in these little crevices to pull himself up and like
yeah,
it is, yeah, it's my palms sweated so bad on the documentary one, and I knew the documentary was going to end good because they released it, and it
yeah.
still was still just as intense. It was
And he's
crazy.
still alive. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
crazy, man. The one thing I didn't consider either is when they were like, luckily we didn't have any hurricane or earthquakes today. And I'm like, dude, if you're going with the building and it just starts shaking, like,
Wow.
Another thing too is just so weird too that those there's people in the building just waving at you. You're sitting there
yeah, dude.
scaling a building, and I was curious. I don't know if they said it on the broadcast. I wonder if how fast he got up that building, if you could climb the stairs in that building as fast as he scaled the wall. Like
I
just
don't know,
taking the
man.
staircase. He did that pretty quick, dude.
Yeah, that's what they said is he was moving fast, like way ahead of pace. I mean, getting
Yeah,
that high in an hour and a half, I thought it was going to take 2 to 3 hours. And
yeah,
man, he was booking it. So yeah, I wonder that
for
too.
sure.
We'll have to try that sometime. We'll run the stairs and see how long it takes us. So.
I mean, on the stair stepper at the gym, I can get up there, but I don't know.
Maybe not that high though.
Nah, no.
Oh, what about a hike, Lucas? You got a hike?
Yeah, I'm gonna give my hike to this freaking cold weather, man. I'm over it. Um, my feet are currently freezing off right now, and I'm in some pretty heavy socks. Um, I like cool weather. Cool weather's great, but this freezing rain, nasty weather, it would be awful to have to change a car battery out in it. Um, but it's just I can't even go outside, man. Like the wind is
No,
just howling, like it's just cutting, and yeah, I'm over it. And obviously, it affected sports as well. You saw the Denver game, and um, things are closing down. People are going to stores and buying out everything off the shelves. It's just, yeah. These little winter storms can absolutely take a hike.
And it holds up too, dude. The one thing that you must have in the time of a 3 day freeze is toilet paper. You got
It
to have your
is,
toilet paper, dude.
yeah, because bowel movements are going to happen more frequently during freezes. It's proven.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's just wild.
I think
But
people are
yeah,
just making blankets out of it, dude. Like they're just making their toilet paper blankets, just the extra insulation.
it's crazy.
Oh man. What about you, Will?
Yeah, Lucas kind of hinted at it. It's dead car batteries, or in my case, dead truck batteries,
Hmm.
guys. That was some BS. We had to make the boys wait about an extra 20 minutes. Truck never have any issues. Truck always starts. A little bit of cold weather. Go to crank that sucker up all ago. Not nothing. Not even a single crank. Uh, good thing I had some. Good thing I had a battery jumper in the truck, and after getting a good connection, we got that sucker popped off. But yeah, cold weather, battery's dead. I gotta buy another one.
And the weather just, man, it just makes it even worse.
Oh yeah, it's been real fun the last couple of days trying to feed cows and check on water troughs and turn off all the different wells and open up the 8,000 water faucets my grandfather put on this place years ago. So
Just wait till you have your kids that get cabin fever and then just begging you to go outside. Happened to me today. I'm like, dude, it's 30 degrees and it's just ice everywhere.
I will. I'll let him. I'll take him with me
Yeah.
to go feed the cows and let
Yeah.
them get outside for about 5 seconds to go. Nope, the
Yeah.
house was pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give my hike, and we'll probably just transition straight into this. College football committee deciding that they're going to keep 12 teams for the playoff next year because of this spat that's going on between the SEC and the Big Ten on what kind of measures are going to be in the future and all that. And it's just crazy situation. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios you could have done. I mean, you could have found a way to get 16 teams from next year. So for them to just say, you know what, we're just going to stick with 12, it's just kind of a slap in the face. It almost seems like, but like we said before, the committee, they just do whatever they want and they don't really care what anybody thinks. So
And the Notre Dame clause is now in effect as well.
yes, dude.
Um, and I don't know if you saw, if I saw a bracket that would have been this year's bracket if next year's rules were in place, and Miami would have not have made
Miami's not
the
in.
field,
Correct.
which Notre Dame would have taken that spot, I believe.
And Duke.
And
Oh yeah,
Duke,
and
yeah.
Duke. So yeah, that's
Well, and that's
especially
the
after what went on this playoff with the run that Miami made. Like, I think there's a case to be made that 16 teams probably should get in, but I don't know.
well, and like in the new clause, it says the four all four Power Four conferences are guaranteed. So now 8-5 Duke, who's not even sniffing the top 25, all of a sudden is guaranteed a spot in there just because they won their conference championship in a really bad conference. That's the most mind blowing thing to me. Like Miami, they go 10-2, but they don't win their conference, and 8-5 Duke, who's in there, is instead like it's just like you're making changes in the wrong way, and it just blows my mind. Like I guess they're trying to justify why like they put Miami in there to be like we put an ACC team in there, but I don't know. It's crazy.
And honestly, say what you will about Texas and their loss at Florida, all that stuff. Like, at the end of the year, like, they were probably a top 12 team in the country, and I mean, they would still be out under this new format. And I think if Texas is a 15 seed, like, nobody's going to want to face them the way they were playing by the end of the season.
Yeah.
And teams like that getting in or not being able to get in now kind of sucks, I think.
So they said that they're sticking with the five highest ranked conference champions, but now it has to include the Power Four. So I was trying to
All
figure out how that plays
yeah.
in too.
So
It just
Tulane would have still gotten in.
it just eliminates the situation. We will never again see underneath the 12 team format. We'll never again see two group of fives get in.
Yeah.
Unless they're ranked 9 and 10 or something.
Like I said, we'll never again
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
see two group of six now, I guess, because
Yeah.
the Pac-12 has risen from the dead. So uh, I don't know, man. I think the whole thing right now is the Big Ten is rolling off of three straight titles, and they're really trying to flex their muscle here and say that we now run this sport. SEC, you're gonna have to give in and do what we want because we're on top of the mountain now. So I think it's kind of a pissing match right now between both the commissioners trying to flex who still has the controlling stake of NCAA football.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Because
crazy
like
too.
if this was
Go ahead.
5 years ago when Bama and Georgia were going, we would have been to 16 and nobody like SEC would have
Oh
got what they
yeah,
wanted.
yeah, for sure. What's wild too is the national championship isn't going to be played until January 25th of 2027. So
So,
it's gonna be over a month of college football playoff.
but think about the scheduling and craziness of having to get your kids all on board while playing in a playoff right now with the schedule that just happened. And now they're pushing it back even further. Now at all these universities, spring semester started already. And
Yeah,
so if you want to register your kids to be able to be eligible for spring practice, they have to be enrolled in the school. And that's not going to be possible with the national championship being played this late. Um, so the NCAA is just literally doing exactly like opposite of what everybody else is saying.
yeah.
Like coaches across the country are saying we need to figure out this schedule. We need to end the season earlier or start earlier, do whatever we need to do to make the off season more fluid. And it seems like the NCAA is doing everything completely opposite. It's wild.
Which is crazy because you could easily put the schedule together where you could play over 4 weeks and finish around New Year's or at least
Yeah.
early January. I mean, way earlier than almost February. Like you're essentially playing 2 weeks before the Super Bowl now, which is insane.
I also saw something as well where the SEC didn't want 16 because I read an article where the Big Ten wanted 16 teams for 2 years and then bump it to 24 afterwards. Um,
Correct.
but that would eliminate the conference championship game, and the SEC supposedly makes so much money off of the SEC championship game that they don't want to get rid of that. Which is so again, it comes down to money. But if you have more teams in the playoffs, theoretically, that money would be recuperated other places. I don't know.
And that's what I was
I don't know.
thinking.
I don't know the
So,
dollar amount, but
so I mean, what there was four SEC teams this year. And then if you go to a
yes,
16 team playoff, you have
you have
Vanderbilt in there
Texas.
now and Texas. So now you have 6 teams in there. Surely that's going to make you more money than the SEC championship game would. Like it's just I don't.
I would think. And then if you throw 24 in there, now you're talking about teams like Missouri possibly, and I don't know,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
that's
Yeah,
just
it's
crazy.
it's wild. It's very wild.
So we'll
Um,
see.
they got to figure it out soon because the coaching carousel, the transfer portal, all that stuff was an absolute wild ride this year, and it sounds like next year it's going to be even more hectic.
Because like you said too, now like some of those players that are wanting to enroll for the spring semester, even if they're playing in the playoff, now you're going into January. Now you have to start making decisions like do you
Yeah,
enroll now or do you go ahead and play and just enroll in the summer? Like what's kind of your goal here? I mean,
And that's what they'd have to do. They would just miss out on spring practice, and so they're going to be behind the eight ball wherever they transfer to next. Um, so yeah, it's just wild.
As long
But
as they keep making the money they're making,
yeah,
they're
they'll
never
just
gonna
they'll just, they'll,
change.
just- they'll just let it keep riding. That's the reason
Yeah.
they don't want to bump the schedule up because they have so many other games and stuff and sponsors that they're trying to satisfy. So I don't know. I mean, I just wish they would have went to 16. It just makes so
yeah,
much more sense. And I mean, I guess talk about the bye week or whatever, but obviously teams aren't winning. But also, then all those schools get rewarded with the home game like they should. You know,
yeah. So even more revenue for those schools.
correct, correct. I
Mm-mm.
don't know. Like I said, it's just going to be a pissing contest for a while, but you would think by 2027 football season, we'll have some clarity here.
Maybe.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. Um, I want to give one more hike. I want to give my hike to Ole Miss again. I don't know. I don't know if y'all saw Dabo's comments. So Dabo went on this huge, long rant and tirade accusing Ole Miss of tampering now, but Ole Miss are the ones accusing LSU of tampering. So it's okay if you're tampering, but if another school is trying to poach your players, it's not okay.
Yeah.
But Dabo went completely off. I think there were like text messages released, like he like roasted Pete Golding and Brian Thomas, who not Brian Thomas, Austin Thomas, who's the GM, who went from LSU over to Ole Miss. Just absolutely went on a tirade. I just thought it was funny. So
Was it
Ole
uh was
Miss,
it was it Joel Olstein level?
probably, yeah. Honestly, yeah, yeah. Um, but I just thought it was funny that Ole Miss, bunch of hypocrites
Yeah.
over there
Stole
tampering, man, just tampering.
rules for thee, but not for me.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Man, speaking of the NCAA too, I saw that a second player came out of the G League and decided to play college basketball, uh,
Arkansas.
going over to Alabama.
Oh, it's
Charles
Alabama.
Alabama.
Bediako. Yeah, played 3 years in the G League, went undrafted 2023, played 3 years in the G League, and then decided he wanted to play basketball for Alabama this year. So it's just crazy, man. Like I saw the
And eligible
NCAA,
immediately, right?
yeah, like he's playing. And so like I saw like the NCAA, like they're like begging Congress to like help them out and like get rules changed, like let us enforce our rules, yada yada yada, like this whole spiel. But man, it's just crazy. Like allowing these professional players to come back and play. Cause I was actually talking to a friend of mine. I was like, what's to stop like baseball from the same thing happening? Like, why would you go play single A baseball, and make $300 a month when you could go play college somewhere and get an NIL deal and make more money? Like, I mean, is there really a difference?
I mean, technically, LeBron has 4 years of eligibility now too.
That's what I'm saying.
Ohio,
Like,
Ohio State could use him.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's where he would go,
Yeah,
undoubtedly.
he's been a big Buckeye supporter.
Yeah, uh, yeah, I don't know, but I also saw something too that I don't know if it's the MLB doing this or if it's the NCAA, but I heard they're talking about doing away with high school draftees as well for baseball.
Mm.
Again, I don't know the ins and outs. I just saw a tweet about it. Again, I don't know if this is on the MLB side or if this is on NCAA ruling or what, but
Was,
I
was
would
it
think it's
getting
probably
rid of
Major League
the
Baseball.
was it getting rid of the high school draftees or was it eliminating the 3-year college rule?
I'm pretty sure it's eliminating high school
High school
draftees.
drafts. Okay.
Yeah, which I feel like more of the kids are starting to go that route or obviously if there's a number that's big enough, the high school kid's going to go, but there's a lot of kids that are foregoing the draft and passing up a lot of money to go play in college.
I think it has
Um,
a lot to do with what Brian just said because there's so many drafts people drafted in Major League Baseball draft, very few of them ever make it to the pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they go get their bag when they can.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Unless you're like a early, unless you know you're going early where you're going to get a nice signing bonus. But
And that's exactly right. Those kids have a number in mind, and if the team says, "Yeah, we'll pay it," then they go. If they don't meet that
correct.
number, then they're like, "Well, I'm going to go to college."
Yep. And just unlike other sports, just because you're drafted, ain't got to go. It happens a
Yeah.
lot where guys go unsigned, even top 10 picks don't ever sign the contract. So
Yeah.
Yep. Brady Aiken.
Yep.
Which that actually panned out because we got Alex Bregman out of it, and dude tore his UCL and was never the same after that. Which is what the Astros
That's
said were
right.
going to happen, and that's why they didn't want to sign him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading what you were talking about. So yeah, so it's talks about like early as 2028, eliminating high school players, and then decreasing the draft to potentially 10 or 15 rounds.
Yeah.
Which man, didn't it used to be like 40 or something? I
40
remember like
something,
Yeah.
it's 40 something
Yeah.
yeah,
rounds.
because I
They
remember they
cut
put
that down,
on
I think, after COVID.
yeah, it's at 20 now, but I remember like they put on ESPN 2 one year. They put the draft like the whole first day draft. I think the ratings were horrible. Like, who's gonna sit there all day and watch the Major League Baseball draft? Like,
See, but it's good for it's good for those kids in high school. There's like, yeah, I got drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the
yeah,
47th round. Like, 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 sweet dude.
yeah. Well, and then
Yeah.
you got guys like what was it? Russell Wilson gets drafted in like the 12th round while he's playing for the Seahawks. Like, no, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
It's literally just publicity and marketing is all that was. Because
Has to
yeah,
be.
they know, yeah, the likelihood of this guy in the 43rd round's probably never going to help the pro ball team here.
But was it him? Was it Russell Wilson? He got drafted by the Rangers,
yeah. Or no, he
Yes.
got drafted by the
A's.
he got no, he got drafted by the Padres, I think, and then he got traded to the Rangers. I thought
Somebody with
he was
a
on the
big
Rangers at
name
one
in
point. Well, Kyler Murray
some
got drafted in the first round by the A's.
with
Like
A's, and
sixth or something.
Yeah, yeah, he was like a
and
top 10 pick.
and he was like, there were like videos of him taking ground balls at like spring training or something.
Well,
Like, I remember that.
that's where everyone was still figuring out if he was going to play baseball or football. Like he hadn't
Well,
decided yet.
well, no, that was the whole deal. So going into his last year at Oklahoma, he had already said he's playing football that year at Oklahoma, but professionally he had picked baseball. Like his agents, everybody told the entire world that he and like whoever drafted him was the drafts in June.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that all those organizations knew that he was not coming to fall ball. He was going to stay and play one more season of football, but he is playing baseball professionally. That's the path he's chosen. Then he goes on to win the Heisman
yeah,
and, presumptive number one pick. So the A's draft him at 6 with I mean, everything but a contract signed, and then he just went back on his word completely.
Yep.
if I won the Heisman and got first round draft pick money, I'd probably do that too.
Well, because that's the thing
Yeah, I
too.
mean,
Like between
he's
football and baseball, like football, like you're getting your contract where it's 5 million a year. And baseball, like it's wherever you end up starting, wherever in the minor leagues, and you're having to work your way up to that payday. Like it's
Yeah,
a different
it's
dynamic.
like a seven
and
year process.
and you're not guaranteed to even get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like in
Like in
football,
foot,
you're getting paid right away.
you're getting paid right away, and if you're getting drafted in the first round as a quarterback, you're gonna play at some point.
Was he number one
So
overall?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
To the Cardinals, yeah.
Oof.
yeah, he made the right decision.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
he's he
And
he
and
he already
going to
got
the
the first
A's,
extension, so
yeah.
God. No, but yeah, I remember that being a crazy deal back then.
actually, the A's, he probably would have moved up in that farm system pretty quick. But whatever,
He
he made
also
the right
knew
decision.
he would never get paid by the A's because the A's don't sign anybody for more than like 50 million.
That's
Yeah.
true. He'd probably be a
Man.
Dodger today.
Who isn't a Dodger today?
Oh man. Well, while we're on
He
college,
will.
go ahead.
He is about to lose his job as a Cardinals quarterback, so he can still go be a Dodger if he wants.
That's true.
He can just make a career change now at like 29, 30, and just go back to baseball.
Yeah, why not? Maybe he could just jump straight in. Who's who's he gonna lose his job to?
The Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals are hiring a new head coach. They're gonna have they have a high pick, but I think both parties are kind of ready to end the marriage here and move forward
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
else. But his contract's massive, so I don't know who's gonna trade it. I don't, the whole money side
Browns.
of football makes no sense. They do need a quarterback, but I don't think they can afford his bill and Deshaun Watson's on the same payroll.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, so he's only going to year 3 of his 5-year extension this coming year.
Yep.
So he's still
Yep.
got a lot of money coming to him.
Yep.
That's
Mm.
wild.
I don't think
Well,
the
while we're
Cardinals owners have the Broncos money to eat all the money like they did for Russell Wilson. So
oh god, still the highest paid player on the team, and not even playing. It's crazy. But you want to touch on the transfer portal while we're talking about college, Lucas?
Yeah, I just LSU getting Jordan Seaton, number one offensive tackle. Um, I don't know. LSU spending a ton of money to build this portal class. There's been some figures thrown around 40 million for this transfer portal class. They signed 42 players, so that's quite a few. Um, but it's just crazy with we were kind of touching on it before the podcast, kind of how LSU's making this money work, which is kind of impressive, but kind of risky too. So with the new rev share, the 20.5 million that you are allowed to pay your players or athletes across all competition and stuff. Um, LSU gets around 15 million for football. Um, but what LSU did, so the Bryce Underwood going to Michigan was honestly the best thing to happen to LSU. So when that happened, LSU got really pissed off. The fan base did and started just raising money and piling it into the collective fund. Um, so they had all this money to dump on the players last year. So last year LSU had the number one portal class as well, and they paid it all, pay for play, whatever. Um, and so July 1st of last year, they didn't touch that $15 million. So they saved the 15 million and used it this year for Brian Kelly. I mean, for Lane Kiffin's team. And now, when July 1st hits again, they'll have another 15 million. So technically, they have $30 million to mess around with to build this roster. And then you got to come up with the other 10 million with actual NIL deals. And LSU, I guess, has found a way to do that. The problem is now for next year, you've already used up that 15 million. And so that's why it's a little risky um, trying to go back and if you need somebody in the portal, you have to wait all the way until July 1st of next year to be able to pay those kids. So that's one of the big pulls that LSU had is they could pay their kids now with that money that they had left over from last year after they dumped their collective money on the last transfer portal class. And I don't know how many schools did that, but I mean, LSU, I know you see what Texas Tech's doing with all their money, all their spending. LSU typically, um, I mean, they're a pretty wealthy program, but they're not in the same realm as like a Texas or Texas A&M. And so I think a lot of people have been talking like, where's LSU getting all this money from? How are they paying all these kids? I think strategically they had a plan in place, which Lane Kiffin kind of touched on in his press conference about LSU's plan to kind of get this transfer portal class in, which again, having the three of the top five portal acquisitions is pretty impressive. number one quarterback, number one edge rusher, and now number one tackle. I thought that was pretty. I'm pretty excited for the season. Hopefully, if we don't make a playoff, we're in trouble. Is all I'm saying.
I was gonna say like it's making a huge splash coming into year one for LSU and Lane Kiffin. So
Yeah,
uh, put some even more pressure than what you already had immediately. It's like
yeah.
now you can't say we're not trying to support your team, so you better make something happen.
One of the good things though too, with this portal class of the 42 kids that they signed, all but four of them have multiple years of eligibility. So it's not just like they're one and done, right? Like Sam Levitt, he has 2 years of eligibility left. Um, I think that was something they were thinking about too for building for the future, where you don't have to go and sign 42 transfers every single year, which is obviously that's a little bit much financially.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll
So
see.
how's A&M doing on the transfer trail? I haven't kept up at all with them.
Uh, they did all right. I mean, I think it was a lot of replace. You know, I don't think they necessarily maybe got better per se, but they just tried to plug holes that we know are going to be an issue next year. Like we're losing Cash's House, so we went and got a kid from Northwestern who's really good D end.
Yeah,
You're losing Casey Concepcion. We went and got Isaiah Horton from Alabama. We're losing most of our offensive line, four of the five starters. So we brought in a ton of offensive line guys. Now, are they all going to be as good as what we had last year? Plus, they have to cohesively work together now. But uh, last year's portal, like some of the guys that you thought were going to be huge contributors were, and some that you didn't do nothing, and then some guys you didn't even know their name when they came on that portal, and they turned out to be massive, you know, on the season this year. So it'll be most of the same, I think.
yeah.
We
That
did
Horton
get a
get was
kicker
huge. Yeah, that's
from
good.
Illinois, so he's supposed to be one of the top kickers available. We'll see,
Yeah,
but yeah, whole lot of just kind of replacing what you lost, I think.
yeah. I think Horton's a good get for sure.
It's size, which
Different dynamic. Yeah,
coming in the season we didn't think we had that. I mean, Ashton Bethel Roman ended up kind of being that. He's 6'3", so he was a freshman, so that was a nice surprise for him to come in. But he was kind of forced in that position. We had to have somebody with height. You can't just throw Conception and Craver, who are both under 6 feet, and throw up
yeah.
50-50 balls to him. So having that option now is nice.
But I didn't watch a ton of A&M football, but Bethel Roman's not like a huge dude either, though, right? Like he's a freshman. He doesn't have like a bunch of like he's not muscly. Like he didn't have a lot of muscle on him. So
Not at
like
all.
he's a skinny dude, right? And so Horton is more of a big bodied guy who can actually like box you out and compete for those 50-50 balls, which I think
Correct.
is
With
important. And Bethel Roman, I'm sure off season training he'll get bigger and all that fun stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I think that's probably well, offensive line obviously is the biggest key to add, but getting that now you pair with Bethel Roman, two guys that can go up and possibly get
yeah,
balls, then keep Craver underneath doing all the trickery is going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't blown away by it, but I wasn't like, oh man, we really whiffed here on a whole
yeah.
lot of players.
Yeah, I know the offensive line was a big issue for a lot of teams this year, like or an area of need was what I was kind of saying. For A&M, for Texas, LSU, like there were a lot of schools that were in dire need of offensive line help. So it sounds like you'll kind of went in and hit that pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the interesting part to me, and maybe it is just a change of scenery thing, but like to your point there, Lucas, is all these teams need offensive line help. They all went and just took linemen from the teams that need offensive line help, if that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
Yeah,
teams that are saying their line wasn't that good, these other programs just taking those guys and claiming that they're going to be the saviors, to fix their offensive line, which is an interesting strategy. But
Wait,
again,
yeah, didn't A&M get one of LSU's?
two.
Is it Carius Kern? No, he went to Ole Miss.
Tournament to Ole Miss. We got
Yeah.
let's see. We got Tyree Adams and
Oh
Cohen
yeah.
Eccles.
Yeah.
So like I think I think they both played. I think was
Oh,
Adams the
dude.
starter?
Yeah, they both played a lot of snaps at LSU.
Yeah, it was real good. Whenever I think it was Eccles actually. No, I think it was Adams. Uh, whenever he committed to A&M, on Twitter, some of the guys like, hey, here's a firsthand look at what A&M is getting with Tyree Adams, and it was a video of Cassius Howe just blowing by him and just killing uh, Nussmeier. So I was like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's real good.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I will
Yeah, it'll
say
be
too,
interesting.
our Bobcats did pretty good too, dude. They
Yeah, they did.
had some big time defensive needs, edge rushing, defensive line. They addressed all that. Got some secondary help. They actually got a 4-star interior lineman from Missouri, so they addressed a lot of their needs. So we'll see if old GJ can take a step up so he can go get his P4 job he's been searching for.
Nah, dude. They're getting that 12th spot this year.
Well,
Week 1, dude.
did I don't know if I sent it to you. Did you see that interview that where they asked GJ Kinney about if he thinks about them having to go play Texas in week 1?
No.
And they were like, "Do you ever think about that?" And he was like, "Yeah, unfortunately, I think about that a lot." And he was like, "They're a really good team, and we just try to go compete every week." And dude, like their entire non-conference is, I mean that's their biggest one, obviously, but it's all within like an hour of each other.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. Try not to get too excited because every year we say this is going to be a better year, and then we end up 7-5 or 6-6. So
I don't want to hear that shit. That's been my entire fandom for eternity. And that's with the school that actually has expectations.
yeah, true. Oh man, that's all the college stuff I got. Y'all got anything else you want to touch on college wise?
Negative.
Well, let's jump into the NFL. Playoffs are going on. Uh, the It's going to be the Patriots and the Seahawks. Seahawks and Rams in an absolute dogfight, back and forth game. Seahawks snuck that one out. Uh, Patriots and Broncos were in a toothless dogfight, 10-7, playing in a blizzard. They actually said it's a good thing they played in Denver because they said the weather conditions in New England were even worse. They said that it was just
Stuff.
an absolute nightmare in New England right now. So gritty win for them. One thing that Lucas and I were talking about though is like teams refusing to take points in big games. There was a drive that Denver had early in the game where they could have kicked a field goal to make it 3-0, and instead they decided to go for it, don't get it, and then you go forward. And we talked about Will Lutz missing the field goal, but it ends up being 10-7. So instead of going to potentially tie, going into overtime, now you're looking at kicking a field goal to win and go to the Super Bowl. So just kind of a crazy situation. I mean, it just we touched on it, but it's these teams that it's been a shift over the last 10 years where it's no longer just take the points. It's we don't want the field goal, we want the touchdown. So they're going for it on these fourth and short situations, even fourth and medium. And sometimes it plays out, but there's a lot of times where it doesn't end up hurting you in the long run. So it's just a weird scenario to see. Obviously, there's situations where a field goal doesn't make the most sense, but a lot of times it's just you're just giving up points at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, I feel
analytics.
like I don't care about analytics. Like the goal of the game is to put points on the scoreboard. Like it's at the end of the day, like Brian Kelly at LSU was the worst about it. Like I swear that guy hated points. Anytime he was in the red zone, he would just go for it. And our kicker's good from 50. Um, and now I have Lane Kiffin as my head coach, so I don't think it's going to get much better. But I I understand analytics and 4th and 1 and all that stuff, but there's also another side to it because if you don't get it, momentum now switches. Like there is a momentum factor in a football game as well. And so in those scenarios, like you get the first down, great. You go score a touchdown, awesome. That like you're now up 2 scores. But if you kick a field goal, like how many times in a game have you seen a team lose by 1 or 2 points, and you look back and like, oh, if you just would have kicked that field goal. I mean, there's always the butterfly effect thing where things can go different ways and play calling and all that stuff. But I just don't understand why coaches just don't like points, the analytics, whatever. Especially in that situation too, a backup quarterback in inclement weather on the way, like take the points, man.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a shift. I think analytics have probably topped out because this has been multiple games now in the postseason where if you go differently in the first half with some of these calls and you kick the field goals, the late game scores would be very different. And so I think you're going
Yeah,
to see a shift back towards the mean. We've gotten way out of hand with how often these guys go for it. So I think next year you might see a regression off the analytics of 4th and 4. If you're past the 50, 4th and 4, the analytics say go for it. I think you're going to see some. I think you're going to see some shift there, especially. I know, like, and especially with the field goal kickers they have now, they can that see anything inside of 70 apparently is just a chip shot. But
yeah,
I know that they do the whole field position thing. Oh, if you're inside the 20, well, even if you don't get it, well, then they get the ball. But I'm with you, Lucas. The whole momentum factor there. I know a field goal still feels like a win sometimes, but a stop and no points feels like a complete win. So I don't
yeah,
understand it, but
Well, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of times going to field position, there's players that will, or there's teams that will go for it. They're on their 45-yard line. You could, yeah, it's a short punt, but if you punt, get them inside the 5, get them inside the 10, that's a huge shift in giving them to them on the 45-yard line. And I guarantee you there's
yeah.
no analytics telling Kirby Smart to go for it on 4th down on his own 30-yard line in a game. Like there's just it's just
It,
situations where it just doesn't make sense.
I felt like this all started when Mike McDaniel was hired in Miami.
I don't know, man. They got so many people just hired. Like most time, I don't even think it's the coach making the decision anymore. It's like, hey, what does the nerd upstairs say about the situation? Go. All right, you
Yeah.
got the play. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's why Miami hired the nerd.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's
But
true. I mean,
I was gonna say it was probably about the same time. That's when I think about the same time they got hired is when Mike McCarthy came into Dallas, and he was the same way. It was, analytics, they go for it, so let's go for it because for a whole year he's not coaching and he was doing all this analytics and yada 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 BS and then he started going for it a lot more than he was kicking field goals or punting or whatever it was, and you just put yourself in bad situations.
Yep.
But speaking of Mike McCarthy, he's going to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers this coming year, so which I thought was shocking because it just kind of cracked me up because you see the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about they only had 3 coaches in their history, and then you get a guy like Mike McCarthy, who I think Will you said outside of the podcast, but is pretty much a carbon copy of what Mike Tomlin has been throughout his time with Pittsburgh. So just kind of a weird situation where you deem him to be the best candidate.
and yeah, because Mike McCarthy, pretty good success in the regular season over the course of his career. He's 11-11 in the playoffs. Wasn't Tomlin like 8-10,
Hmm.
whatever it was? Like, I mean, hovering around 500. McCarthy's 500. The major difference, Tomlin still the last few years, because obviously he had Big Ben for the front part of it, but the last few years he's found ways to win without good quarterback play. McCarthy's had Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, and if I mean we can clown Dak all we want, but he's still a top 10 quarterback in this league. I mean, he does play good football. Like at times, now there's times not as much,
Yeah.
but I mean he's had a top 3 MVP season twice already. So anyway,
Yeah.
McCarthy's going into this situation with no quarterback and no draft pick to get one. So that's going to be interesting to me. Um, I feel like this was. I guess you could would consider this a safe hire by the Steelers because like if it goes bad, you could justifiably say like, oh well, he's a proven coach. He's won a Lombardi Trophy before. He wins games. So maybe they were shy to take a risk on a new young gun or a hot name possibly, but it doesn't do anything for me. Like if I'm a Steelers fan, I'm not just throwing a parade that Mike McCarthy got hired as our coach.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Over
Like
under
the
10
Steel.
years.
He's 62,
Oh,
so
I would say under
10
five
years.
years.
Yeah, I would say so. Which is interesting because again, we talk about the Steelers having these coaches for long tenures, and this is not that. This is going outside of their normalcy.
And I guess going back
So
to Will's point, like it's more of the history because I mean, really, if you look at the candidates that were available, I mean, there's no proven head coaches out there that were available for jobs coming in. So unless you do go for a young gun, kind of a risk hire because you don't know, that's the only really justification I could give to why you would choose Mike McCarthy. Because I mean, other than that, there's really not a proven guy out there that you could be like, man, he could come in and do it.
yeah,
yeah, I agree with that. I just don't. I don't know if you will. I mean, there's so many. That roster's so old. It feels like the Steelers just needed to hit the reset button, and I don't think Mike McCarthy at 62 is coming into a job where he's looking rebuild. I think he's trying to take over a team that when you make a hire like him, you think your team is right there. Like
Yeah.
a coaching change could get this team over the hump. And I just feel like the Steelers themselves are over the hump and they just probably need a hard reset, which is why I think I said it before. I thought they should have went with just a younger mind and just try to find a way to either move up in the draft or take, maybe a day two guy, take a Nussmeyer, a Ty Simpson, a Chambliss, I don't know, just a guy and see what happens. And if the whole thing blows up, well, you get a top three pick next year and call it a day. And you got a first time head coach. You didn't have a good team. Fan base will be upset because they're always used to at least winning. But sometimes franchises need to go through that hard reset. I mean, hell, look at the Patriots. Uh, whenever Tom Brady leaves, Belichick leaves, you're thinking like a decade long rebuild here, and within 3 years we're right back in the Super Bowl, or 4 years, whatever it's
Yeah.
been now. Uh, but it wasn't that long for a team that was so high for years. That wasn't a very long, tough rebuild phase. So it can be done quickly.
I was gonna say, it seems like defensively they have pieces that are in place because I mean, defensively they weren't bad this year. It's just finding the
They're
offensive
old
piece. I
though
mean,
is the problem.
yeah, they're old, and then I mean, really, and your quarterback coming into the year right now is Will Howard. Because I mean, and it's like, is that really who you're gonna ride with, or like you said, do you go with a young guy and maybe McCarthy's like a bridge where he can just kind of develop him for a little bit and then get another guy in 3 to 4 years whenever McCarthy gets fired or retires. I mean, I guess that's one way you could look at it, but
He calls plays, right, Brian? He called plays in Dallas,
yeah,
and then he gave them up,
yeah,
and then took them back or something. But
yeah.
um, I don't know. I can see why they hired him, but I don't necessarily probably agree with the hire. I don't know if this elevates your franchise or if you needed to get away from Tomlin because it was time to it was time for a fresh breath of air for everybody. I really think you just brought in the exact same type of mindset. McCarthy's going to find a way to maybe win at least 10 games a year, but are you really got, Super Bowl aspirations? Probably not.
But is he gonna win you 10 games a year realistically? I mean,
Again, without a quarterback, I don't think so. I really don't.
yeah. I don't know. Speaking of the AFC North, I was reading about, or I was watching a clip from the Rich Eisen show, and they were talking about the Browns coaching search. So apparently, the Browns are like the Astros of the NFL, where they are uber analytic, and so they actually said that they make their coaching candidates come in and take a test. It's like a almost like a Wonderlic type of test, and then you have to write an essay, and then if you make it through the first round, then you have to do homework for your second round of interviews, which has actually gotten to the point where they've actually gotten a couple candidates to actually drop their name from the coaching search. I know Mike McDaniel's one. There was another one too, but just kind of crazy to me. The Browns, the situation they've been in their entire lives, and you're potentially going to run off good candidates because they're like, why would I have to go through all this? Like, either you want me or you don't. Because Eisen even said it. He was like, it's kind of like he's like, not to be like snarky, like, but he's like Signetti, like, just Google me. Like, either you like what I've done or you don't. Like, it's not I need to come in and take a test to prove that I'm the right guy, especially in Cleveland.
I don't know who's gonna take that job, guys. Because like, if you're yeah, I know if you have head coaching aspirations, there's only 32 of those positions out there, and they don't all come available all the time. So yeah, you want to go take that job, but man, if you go to Cleveland and bomb out like everybody else as a first time hire, that's not a good look. And if you're a coach that's already been a head coach and has you've been fired once and you're looking for your second opportunity, a lot of times the second opportunity is the last opportunity in the NFL unless you find a way to win a championship, and sometimes you get a bye, kind of like McCarthy's getting his third opportunity now, but that doesn't happen all that often. So do you
No.
take that risk and go into Cleveland where it seems like all careers outside of Miles Garrett and Joe Thomas go to die? I don't know who the hell they're going to hire. This was almost like a Texans situation a few years ago when all everything was going bad and like nobody really wanted the job, so they hired David Culley for a year from the
Yeah.
Ravens, fired him. Nobody wanted the job again the next year, so they have to hire Lovey Smith, and then they finally get some draft capital, and they get the front office aligned, and then boom, you get D'Amico to come in, and some things are moving forward. But this might be the same thing with the Browns here. Is you just got to end up hiring somebody because somebody has to be your head coach. And after a few more years of stinking, you'll just go with somebody else. It might end up being just Jim Schwartz, who's their defensive coordinator already. Keep it in
Yeah.
house. He'd probably take the job and just like I said, keep it moving. But I don't know anybody that's just going to dive in head first, thinking you're going to be able to fix the Browns because they got a long history now of not. I mean, it just seems like no matter who gets in there, they can't fix it.
And that's what I actually saw, that that's probably who it's going to be in, because they said that Jim Schwartz is like their failsafe. So if everything else falls
Correct.
apart, they at least, because they said even whoever they hire as the head coach, they want to keep Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator regardless. So if you want to keep him, I mean, your best move is probably just to hire him. Especially like if I'm a guy trying to come in and bring my guys, and then they go, "Well, you don't get to choose your defensive coordinator, though." I'd be like, well, I don't know then." Like, especially like just going again, it's Cleveland, who has a history of being horrible, and now you're going to try to set these expectations and standards. Like, I mean, it's just going to come down to, you got either someone's willing to take a risk to go over there, or you just go with the guy that you love in your organization already. But if you also look at Jim Schwartz's head coaching tenure, it's not great. So, which is a bad look for him, because wasn't he the head coach of the Lions too at one point? So,
Yes.
so you're the head coach of potentially two of the worst historic organizations in the NFL history. So I guess somebody's got to do it. Anything, Lucas? You got any input on that?
I'd take the job.
Because it pays well.
Fired head coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If somebody's got to do it,
Yeah, that's true.
It just feels like like most coaches get at least a 5 year deal. I feel like this is one of those they're gonna get they get like a 3 year deal because
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you're probably just gonna be a scapegoat at this point.
But that's the thing. Like you're gonna be the scapegoat until the next scapegoat until the next scapegoat. Like it's just just becomes one
Dude,
of those jobs
the
that
amount of
nobody wants
coaches
to
they've
do.
hired. No, I mean since they moved back to Cleveland, they've hired a ton of coaches, and not a single one of them has done anything there.
like is it cursed? Like it's
It kind of
wild.
feels it kind of feels that way, man. Because I mean, I know everybody clowns it and jokes about it. To miss on that many quarterbacks in a row is
Yeah,
one of the most crazy stats in sports. To
yeah,
legitimately have that much inconsistency, like every other franchise at one point has at least had somebody they thought was the guy for 5 years, and they have, for my entire lifetime, have never had anybody that's put any sort of stability at that position.
No.
absolutely. Like everything just never comes together for him. Like I don't know. Like the Saints, for example, the laughing stock of the NFL forever. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, it just came together. Like it
Right.
just at some point, dumb luck is gonna like the
Yeah.
stars are gonna align. Dumb
Drew
luck's gonna
Brees
happen, and things are gonna align how they need to for you to make a run at least. But
Drew, Drew Brees was the castaway with the injury history that nobody else wanted to take a flyer on,
yeah,
and it got him a Super Bowl. I mean, like to your point, dumb luck, and they had a decade of success. Like the
yeah,
Browns have tried. God bless them. Have they tried throwing different guys behind center, and they haven't they haven't hit on nothing.
yeah, it's crazy.
So just I was looking at what you were talking about, Will. So the Steelers have three head coaches in their history since 1999 when
Well,
the Browns came
since
back to
this,
Cleveland. Or yeah, but since the Browns came back to Cleveland in 1999, they've had 12 head coaches.
that's
So you're
insane.
average. So you're averaging one head coach every 2 to 3 years.
That is insane. Is that counting the upcoming one, or will this be the 13th
This will be 13.
in 27 years? In
Yeah,
27 years.
Yeah, if
and
my
it's
math's
almost
right, that's one pretty much one every 2 years.
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, like, it's almost like a slap in the face too. Like you fired Kevin Stefanski because you said he wasn't the answer, and the Falcons hired him almost immediately. Like this shows you that like other organizations thought that he was a good coach, and it just didn't work where you were at. But uh,
When did they start doing the Jeff Lunau method with analytics? Is that like a new thing they're doing?
yeah, I
Like
think it's like the last few years, yeah, when they started doing it.
what? Well, it ain't working.
No,
Where are they drafting this year? Are I'm sure they have a high pick, top
Shoot.
five.
No, I don't think so. Oh, well, six.
Yeah,
They have number six and number 24, but you're not drafting a QB six. That's a hell of a stretch this year with Dante Moore coming
Mendoza.
back.
Yeah, Mendoza's going to be gone already, probably.
Now at 24, which I would still say is a stretch, but to draft Nussmeier, Chambliss, or Ty Simpson at 24, I mean, I'm sure a team is gonna in the at late first round is gonna take a flyer on one of those guys, but
Yeah.
that's a it's a real stretch. It's a real stretch. This is outside of Mendoza. This is feeling like that Malik Willis, Will Levis draft where you kept assuming they were gonna some team was gonna do it, pull the trigger, and they just kept not because it's not worth the pick. And this
yeah.
draft's kind of shaping up like that.
Yeah, man, it does look that way, but I don't know. I feel like there's it's hard to see now. Like obviously with the way the quarterbacks played and the ones coming out this year, obviously you have Mendoza, but there's some arm talent in this class with Carson Beck. I mean, Chambliss looked really good. Nussmeier has unbelievable arm talent. Will it all translate into the NFL? I mean, I think it could.
Yeah, but all those
You
guys do
never
not need to be
know.
thrown to the fire that is the Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely. But everybody's talking about how bad of a quarterback class this is. I think I think it's hard to say that now. I feel like that term gets thrown out a lot every year during the draft, and I think you got to give it 4 or 5 years at least to kind of see kind of what happens with these guys.
Well,
Well, and that's the thing, and that's the
everybody
biggest
or
problem.
every draft is like rated off that one we had six go in the top 14. So everybody's, oh, well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they're basing all this off of, and that should have never happened and won't happen again for a
agreed.
very long time. But
Yeah,
What I was gonna say too, like one of the biggest issues, and we've talked about multiple times, is these guys getting thrown to the fire. Where, like this to me is a quarterback draft where yes, they could be good, but they're not going to be good immediately. Like they need to get behind a veteran quarterback and learn the system and learn how to play in the NFL. And then in 2 to 3 years, you get your chance. Not from day one, you're just thrown in there and you're expected to just turn a franchise around.
that's what I agree with there, Brian, is because you see like week 10 or 11 teams when they're already bad, they pivot to that rookie and like, well, we need to get him on the field to see what he's got. Well, when he doesn't have a line and he doesn't have weapons to throw to, like, what is he supposed to have? I mean, he's
Yeah.
not going to come out there and all of a sudden just go win you 4 games. I mean, I know you're trying to analyze decision making and all that kind of stuff, but when you're put in a awful situation in your first time out, I feel like a lot of guys just get a bad bite at the apple because they weren't in a they were in a pretty much a lose-lose situation.
Well, look at
yeah,
Mendoza going
and
to
obviously
Vegas.
if
I
you're
mean, who's he going to throw to?
yeah,
Who's he going to hand the ball to? Who's going to block for him? Like he's going into
He's going to
not
hand the
an
ball to
impossible
Jeffrey and he's going to throw
situation,
to
but
Brock Bowers.
yeah, like that's
And
it.
that's
Like
it. That's it. I said Jeffrey, I meant Genty, but like
Genty,
the
yeah.
offensive line, that should tell you about the offensive line play. And like Genty didn't have an unbelievable first year. The offensive line's terrible. And like
Mhm.
for whatever you want to say about Geno, he didn't become that bad all of a sudden after leaving Seattle. Seattle had a better line. He had more time to make decisions and stuff. It just you got to Vegas, that line's awful.
I mean, yeah, and look at Baker Mayfield. Like that should be a prime example whenever he went to Tampa. Like he's a totally different player in Tampa than he was, we all know.
But I mean, I would even argue
On the list.
like Baker wasn't a bad player in Cleveland. Like he just kind of like they actually had decent seasons when he was there, but then they started playing better and then all of a sudden he wasn't playing good enough. And it's like he's not taking us to the next level. It's like what level are you trying to get to? Like you're in Cleveland. Like you haven't won a Super Bowl or you've never won a Super Bowl. You haven't won since the AFL championships. Like what are you expecting to happen all of a sudden? So he got written off because all of a sudden these Cleveland people got these unrealistic expectations because they were finally being competitive.
They made the playoffs one time and then acted like they should make it every year. And when that didn't happen, like, oh well, Baker's the problem. No, he was. I mean, he didn't play great, but there's a long list of problems you got here. Just be happy to be in the dance for once.
I bet they'd love to have Baker Mayfield right now.
If that
I
was available,
just
I would take it.
I just also feel like you if you're a high draft pick though, you can't waste a pick that early and not play them with the amount of money that they're like signing bonuses and things like that. And a lot of times if you're drafting that high, it's probably because you don't have a good quarterback to begin with as well.
Yeah.
So the expectation is to start right away too. I feel like the scenarios now, especially when the bad teams draft quarterbacks, the scenario to sit and wait isn't really there unless you're just trying to stat draft picks for the next 3 years. Like the Jordan Love thing is a that's an anomaly now. It used to be the case a lot. Like that used to
Patrick
be that used to
Mahomes.
happen. Yeah, that used to happen quite often. But now it's not the case anymore. And unless you get drafted to a team that has a veteran that's just sitting there waiting to retire or whatnot, like the option really isn't there for quarterbacks anymore. But like you
Yeah.
said, if they start taking flyers later rounds, you might start seeing that a little bit more often, where teams aren't drafting quarterbacks as high as frequently to allow them to develop. Because yeah, I mean,
Because I mean that's a lot of what it is kind of what we've been touching on without saying is most of these teams that need a quarterback, they have a lot more needs too. And so they
yeah.
like why not address your other immediate needs that can make it more immediate in like the first 3 rounds. Then you take a quarterback the third, fourth, fifth round. I mean, like why? Like it's kind of like what happened with running backs. It's like running backs became expendable, and so it's now we won't reach for one so easy. Like I wonder if there's a point where it comes to the same thing with quarterback. We're not going to reach for one because just because we need one, we have all these other needs too.
I mean, look at what's happening in Cincinnati. Like the fact that Joe Burrow drugged them to a Super Bowl is kind of crazy.
Yeah, with one of the worst offensive lines ever.
Yeah, yeah, that's an
Yeah,
anomaly. That doesn't happen. But
I don't know. One of these days we'll find the answer. Keep watching at face value. We'll have the answers for you here.
try.
So I guess we all kind of agree though that the Seahawks are probably going to roll the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they open up 4.5 point favorites.
And just Super Bowl. I mean, for the playoffs that started with some juice, we've ended at just a wet fart here, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna watch it because it's a Super Bowl, but like, I mean, they're I guess they're both like likable teams. There's nobody like I like Vrabel. Drake May seems like a good guy. Like the Patriots aren't easy to quote unquote hate like they used to be when they were dominating the league. Seattle, I mean, feel good. Sam Darnold was cast off, bust, never gonna do anything in the NFL. Takes a team, signs in the haters. He can win the playoffs, but I don't know. It's nothing like I'm just overly over the moon excited about these two teams in the Super Bowl.
I will
no,
not
for
be
sure.
watching.
Dude, you're not even going to watch
I
Bad
got better
Bunny
things to do.
performing in his dress at halftime?
Oh, Jesus.
No, nah,
That's
I'm all
uh
right.
that's that's peak San Francisco right there.
Is that where it's played?
Hmm.
Santa Clara, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be watching Arsenal highlights.
Yep.
I mean, you
Well,
know
that's all
what?
I got, guys.
Maybe that's maybe that's the day I buy in, Lucas.
There you go. We'll all
Yeah, I'll
just watch
hold my
Arsenal
breath.
highlights together.
That's right.
Well, I got nothing else to cover. It's about the extent of sports at this time.
Yep.
I'm good.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. Continue to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Watch our TikToks. Share them to everybody you know. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
See ya.